Okay, so kung hindi ka nakatira sa lugar na walang internet o Twitter, alam mo na may nangyayari ngayon sa West Philippine Sea at involved doon ng isang bansa na superpower tulad ng China na gusto mag-take over sa ating ibang mga isla. At ano ba talaga ang nangyayari? Tulad ako, hindi ko masyadong alam kung ano yung mga detalye, hindi ko alam kung may laban ba talaga tayo dyan. So, ginawa natin itong episode na to at gines natin ng isang maritime expert na si Professor J. Batumbakal. And sir, gusto ko lang itanong, may ibubuga ba ang Pilipinas laban sa China tungkol sa pag-claim ng West Philippine Sea?
Meron naman siguro kahit papaano.
Siguro. Okay. Ang gandang simula, uncertainty. Kasi kung sinabi mong meron, parang hindi na masyadong thrilling yung episode eh. Sige, meron pa kahit papaano. So, siguro simulan natin simula, no? Gusto ko malaman or paalam sa mga tao na hindi ako alam ko to, nag-research ako. Baka mamaya hindi alam ng ibang tao eh. Bakit ba interesado ang China sa territory na yun?
Well, basically, ang West Philippine Sea is yung karagatan natin, no? Dun sa kanluran. No? At nandun yung mga ilang teritoryo natin, mga isla, at mga bahura doon. Ang China kasi, gusto niyang angkinin yung buong South China Sea where the West Philippine Sea is found. No? At ang primary objective niya dito ay, national security lang niya. Iniisip lang niya na kailangan niyang kontrolin itong buong South China Sea, kasama ng West Philippine Sea, para maging safe siya against a potential adversary, no?
Okay.
At ang kaisa-isang potential adversary na iniisip niya ay itong US.
Okay.
At ang panggagalingan ng potential threat ay ang US Navy and US Air Force. No?
I see.
Kasi under international law, yung mga karagatan katulad ng South China Sea, mga open sea areas yan, hindi yan pwedeng sa ilalim sa soberenya ng kahit sino.
Okay.
At best, up to 12 nautical miles from your shoreline lang ang abutin ng iyong sovereignty, no? That's about 22 kilometers, no? A little more than 22 kilometers.
Para pumunta lang akong Muntinlupa galing Pasig.
And the rest of that, open to all. So that means open then to any military activities led by the US Navy, US Air Force. Ayaw niya yon kasi ang tingin niya, yung coastal area ng China, kung titingnan mo yung mapa ng China, di ba, almost surrounded yan, landlocked yung ibang parte. Pero itong sa southern coast, open to the sea. So tingin niya yan yung pinaka-vulnerable area niya. If there is going to be any potential threat to China, dyan manggagaling. And the only potential source of a threat for them would be the US, through the US Navy. Kaya kailangan niya ngayon kontrolin yung karagatan sa paligid ng coastal area na yon. Nandiyan ang South China Sea, nandiyan ang East China Sea at Yellow Sea, no? Dun sa bandang norte. Ang problema, nandiyan din tayo sa area na yan. So para kontrolin niya yan, kailangan din niyang in a way makontrol tayo. No? So yun, kaya gusto niyang angkinin yan at ngayon tinayuan niya ng mga base militar yung South China Sea. Tapos nakikita natin araw-araw parang
palaki ng palaki.
Palaki ng palaki. Tapos
may mall na dun.
Buti kung mall lang.
Pero nakita ko like kaya nila mag-house ng aircrafts, may mga runways and everything.
Sa ngayon operational na yung mga ports dun sa area. So we've seen yung mga China Navy, Coast Guard, tsaka yung militia vessels nila, talagang pinuputak din nila yung mga military bases nila. Meron na yan mga missiles na naka-install, anti-air, anti-ship. Actually, lagpas na nga ng Palawan yung abot nila eh. From the West Philippine Sea, abot niya yung loob ng Sulu Sea. Tapos, nakikita natin mayroong mga maritime surveillance aircraft din na nakabase doon. No? Pero kulang na lang yung mga combat aircraft nila. Kasi yung mga runway na nilagay nila doon ay talagang designed para sa mga combat aircraft.
Okay. So talagang pwede sila mag-mobilize ng something there and malapit siya sa atin.
Oo. Malapit talaga. Yung pinakamalapit, yung pinakamalaki yung Mischief Reef. No?
So this is strictly a military outpost. Wala silang ibang pakay doon? Or
sa nakikita natin talaga military ang military facilities at military talaga yung purposes niyan. Kahit ba nilalagay nila dyan yung mga Chinese fishing vessels, yung militia nila, wala namang market dun eh.
Oo nga.
No? So, baka pinapa-anchor lang nila ng malapit, pero hindi talaga yun yung pakay nila bale, no?
Parang smoke screen nila yan?
Parang,
pero,
kumbaga ginagawa na yun para tauhan nila yung lahat ng mga isla at bahura dun sa area. Kasi, before nila na-establish itong mga military bases na to,
what was it before ba?
Before, doon lang sila mainly nag-operate sila mainly from their southern coast, sa Hainan, sa Fujian. And hindi sila madalas o matagal dito sa southern part, no?
Okay.
Lalo na dyan sa Spratlys, no? Pero from 2007 onwards, talagang in-effort nila na palakihin yung mga forces nila na makakapag-operate sa area at saka patagalin yung mga ang tawag nila days at sea, no? Ng mga patrol time nila. And then 2014 to 2016, ayun na yung time na ginawa nila itong mga artificial island na to.
Okay.
And after that, nung operational na siguro yung mga port facilities doon, yun na yung time na talagang 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, nandyan na sila sa southern area.
Okay. So talagang, they're not being secretive with it, no? Talagang, hindi na sila pwedeng lagyan ng malaking tarp yung lugar. So, kitang-kita na.
Hindi na nila sinisikreto. Pinagtatakpan lang nila.
I guess.
Na hindi nila ina-admit na mga military facilities yan. Kiniklaim pa rin nila ng mga civilian areas yan, etc.
Talaga, even with like very evident photos, the technology now, satellite imagery and everything.
Kasi bandang mga 2014, they were claiming that these were for civilian purposes and will provide public goods daw.
Okay. So, beneficiary pa kuno. Parang
kuno. Pero wala eh. Ngayon, hindi na nila sinasabi yun siguro dahil napaka-obvious naman. No?
So, parang tawag din, just to, I guess, para ma-squash lang natin tong part na to. So, right now, it's very obvious na it's a military outpost. Is there a chance na talagang they'll use it to encroach on further sa territories natin or talagang purely for defending their own land?
Well, if you think about it, they already are using it to encroach on our oceans. No? Kasi since that time nga na naging operational na yan, tapos 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, nung pwedeng present ngayon yung mga Chinese maritime forces, no? Navy, Navy, Coast Guard, and militia. Ngayon, parang pinununan nila, lalo na ng mga maritime militia vessels nila, lahat ng mga major reef areas and low tide elevations, no, which used to be simply fishing grounds for our people. Yun nga, sabi ko kanina, tinatauhan nila. No? Pag nandun na kasi yung mga militia vessel, hindi na maalis yan. No? Kahit pa paano nagre-reliebo yan, lagi mayroong presence. So yung mga fishermen natin, hindi na makalapit, natatakot.
As may mga footage tayo na winowater ho sila, mga ganong klase.
Tapos yung Coast Guard nila paali-aligid, di ba, the past month or two, may mga reports na nagko-conduct sila ng tinatawag na intrusive patrol into the Philippine EEZ, as close as 60 nautical miles from yung isang report from Lubang Island yata yun. Tapos last week, mga 90 nautical miles from Manila Bay. No? Yan, pinapakita nila na kaya na nilang gawin. No? Pinapatrolya nila sarili nating katubigan. Tapos, ini-intimidate talaga nila yung ating mga mangingisda. No? I was in a congressional hearing. Ganun uli yung kwento ng ating mga mangingisda na parang hindi sila makapangisda ng malaya kasi from time to time, lalapitan sila ng mga Chinese Coast Guard o kaya militia vessel. And siyempre, kinakabahan nila sila dahil hindi nila alam kung sasagasaan sila or what. No? Tapos sinisira nila yung mga fish aggregating devices ng mga mangisda natin para hindi na nga sila makapagpatuloy na kumitan, maghanap buhay man lang. No? So, yun ang paraan nila para talagang agawin sa atin itong karagatan.
What could be the intention of the show of force though? Like parang I feel like it's really encroaching on parang kumbaga parang they really don't give a lot of options for what other people would perceive their
Mm.
actions to be. Di ba? Parang, or aggressive, parang gusto naming lumaban or mag-take over. Parang ganun yung dating. Yun yung basa ko.
Well, kita natin, no? They simply want to get it. Okay? They simply want to take over the sea.
Okay.
Kaya pinupuno nga nila itong mga forces nila.
Okay.
And at the same time, gusto nila na lumuhod tayo. They want us to give it up voluntarily.
I see.
Kaya tinatakot din tayo. Pinapakita na nila na wala rin naman kayong magagawa eh.
Yeah.
Dahil, kumbaga,
So,
regardless what you think, I will take this. So you might as well just give it to me. Parang
basically
ganun.
bullying.
Oo.
Yun na talaga yun. And ito rin yung parang, syempre, if you're trying to, have a grasp of the situation and everything, wala bang magagawa ang international courts dito or United Nations or anything that has jurisdiction over this kinds of squabble?
Well, syempre meron naman. Pero, kumbaga naghihintay rin sila ng parang, kumbaga, signal. Gusto naman makita kung anong pwede nilang gawin. And that's why it all depends on us pa rin, no?
Yeah.
After all, tayo yung directly affected. Karagatan natin itong kinukuha. Karapatan natin itong niyuyurakan, bale, no? Kung hindi tayo iimik, wala silang rason para mag-object, di ba? Kaya ganun nangyari during the Duterte administration, no? Nung napanalo natin yung South Chinese arbitration, pero yung mismong Philippine government ayaw pag-usapan yung South Chinese arbitration. Ay bakit sila pangungunahan ng ibang bansa, no? Anong magagawa nila kung tayo mismo ayaw nating i-pursue yung ating mga rights, no? So ngayon, what we're seeing is with the new with the Marcos administration.
Sa SONA sinabi, di ba?
Tapos yung assertion na ng ating mga karapatan, nakita natin, no, naglalapitan ang mga ibang bansa, no? Napakarami ng foreign delegations nung dumating dito sa Pilipinas, pati mga bansa na hindi natin man lang nadidinig dati, mga Estonia, Czech Republic. Pero yan, pupuntahan sila dito, nakikipag-usap sa atin tungkol nga dito sa issues sa West Philippine Sea at kung ano pwede nilang maitulong. Sometimes nga, I think, sa dami nung in-offer nilang tulong, hindi natin malaman alin uunahin, anong gagawin sa tulong na yun. Nagduduplicate or hindi nagko-coordinate. Sa dami talaga.
Madami. Okay.
So yun yung challenge natin. But the point is, now that they've seen we're willing to stand up for our rights, they're willing to help.
Okay. Gets. Oo. Kasi mahirap nga naman kung sinasabi ng gobyerno natin na hindi, wala, okay lang. Hindi, syempre hindi sila makakainod. Now we have so ito yung balikan natin yung question simula, may ibubuga ba tayo? And kung meron man, paano ito yung mangyayari? Na-mention mo, we have received interest in foreign help. Ano pang battle plan natin dito apart from susugurin natin sila at
hindi naman natin sila susugurin, no? Kasi syempre no matter how you look at it, no, China is 10-15 times larger than us.
So getting that out of the way, hindi tayo mananalo pag sinugod natin sila as
by any
Stalingrad
metric,
style,
no? By any metric, hindi natin sila mapapantayan ng one-on-one.
Yes.
Kaya ang kailangan natin talaga is the rest of the international community behind us.
Yes.
No? After all, China is still part of a larger community. And kung gusto niyang marespeto siya, kung gusto niyang makitungo doon sa ibang bansa, kung gusto niya maging maayos yung relations niya sa ibang pang bansa, then dapat ipakita niya na siya ay isang responsible and trustworthy member of the international community. Sa ngayon, hindi niya mapatunayan yun. No? Ang dami-daming issue. Hindi lang naman sa atin, pero marami din siyang ibang issue sa ibang bansa. No? Na ganun din, nakikita rin nila na, ano ba to? No? Como lumakas, masyado yatang yumabang at ngayon gusto niya siya yung maghahari. No?
Marami rin siyang mga iba-ibang bansa na parang dine-death trap nila, mga ganong klase. So
gusto niyang diktahan, gusto niya talagang paluhurin din, no?
Yeah.
So dahil doon, nag-uumpisa talagang mag-gel together din yung international community, in many ways against China. They still try to work with China after all. Kasi nga, kahit anong gawin mo, they're still part of this broader international community. Kaya doon nakikita ng international community na
kaya nga nila dinidinay, di ba? Kasi parang gusto pa rin ng magandang image.
Mas even-handed sila, no? Pero tingnan mo ang China, walang pakialam, no?
Yeah.
Gusto lang niya siya yung maghahari, siya lang ang masusunod. In a way, parang immature din, no?
Yeah.
Na yung policy nila at yung tingin nila sa buong mundo, no? So yun yung pwede nating kasing ibuga, ika nga, no? Even though we're a small country, if we have the law on our side and if we have the international community on our side, we can leverage what little we have, no? To make ourselves stronger, no? Pwede nating i-match sana, no? So kaya nakita natin yung pinaka-visible is itong alliances, no? Philippine-US Alliance. Tapos ngayon, nagkakaroon tayo ng even closer security cooperation with countries like Australia, Japan, which is the bigger surprise, Korea, no? Mga ganyan, maraming cooperation ngayon na nag-uumpisang magbukas, no? Even France, no?
Parang maraming galit sa China, tama ba? O hindi naman? Or ayaw lang
well, hindi mo siguro galit.
Pero to receive help from Japan, France,
they have the same concerns, kumbaga, no? Na masyado yatang nagiging
malakas.
Hindi naman sa malakas, kundi masyadong imperious.
Gets.
Nagiging empire, gusto talaga mag-build ng sariling empire ang China, and everyone sees kung anong klaseng empire ito, no? Nakikita natin in the way they treat us,
Tama.
No? So ayaw nila mangyari 'yon, no? Hindi pwede 'yon. Kaya nag-come together mga iba-ibang bansa, no?
So they must see them as a threat at least, 'di ba? Kasi
for
they
some
wanna nip
countries
it at the bud, yeah.
Some countries like Australia and Japan, nakita na nila kumbaga sinample na sila nung ano yung magiging attitude at posture ng China, no? Which if it is left unchecked, kung hindi matututo ang China, magiging mas mapanganib in the future.
Bakit may ganitong klaseng ambition ng China? Matagal na ba silang ganyan? Or
well, part of it talaga is Xi Jinping.
Okay.
Yung current chair ng Communist Party or Secretary General ng Communist Party. Siya yung nagbigay ng parang impetus or motivation for China sa ngayon, no? Kaya in a way, in your face and masyadong aggressive, no? Tapos yung Communist Party which he leads, no? As you all know, no, yung Communist Party ng China, as just like any other Communist Party, fully believes that, you know, all power flows from the barrel of a gun. And so napaka aggressive, napaka forceful din nila, and wala silang tiwala sa mga agreements and arrangements, because at any time kung maging mas malakas sila, or power is what determines your rights value for them. Kaya nakita natin, no, sa ngayon, yun din ang attitude nila sa atin, no? Hindi nila matanggap na ang isang maliit na bansa katulad ng Pilipinas magiging ganyang kaingay, ganyang kalakas ang pag-assert sa mga karapatan niya sa international law. Hindi niya makita ang Pilipinas bilang isang independent and sovereign nation. Tingin niya, kahit anong gawin mo, will always be a puppet of the US. Lagi niyang sinisisi iba. Ayaw niyang kilalanin na meron tayong sariling interest. Kunwari dyan sa West Philippine Sea, na meron tayong mga pangisdaan dyan, na meron tayong mga interest sa energy dyan. Hindi nila kinikilala yon. Tingin nila lahat ng ating aksyon at desisyon ay utos lang ng US.
Do you think they're even more aggressive against us because our long-time allegiance with the US? Or
well, syempre, kasama na yon. Nakita naman natin yan between Aquino, Duterte, and now Marcos. Kung kukumpara mo isama mo na rin yung Arroyo administration siguro. Kukumpara mo yung polisiya nila sa mga administrasyon na to, pag friendly sila sa China, tahimik sila. No? Pero at the same time, patuloy pa rin yung pagkuhat pang-angkin nila ng ating mga karagatan at resources. No? They were able to gain a lot under the Duterte administration. No? Sa kabila ng lahat ng mga accommodation Duterte administration, ayun, patuloy pa rin sila sa namihasa nga, Bali sa West Philippine Sea. Hindi tayo umimik nung ginawa nila yung mga military bases nila, hindi tayo umimik nung dineploy nila yung mga maritime
jet ski
militia nila.
pinadala. Wala kahit ano, di ba?
Oo. So ngayon, nagpo-pushback tayo dahil nakapasok na talaga sila, kung umasta sila, kala mo, binigay na natin sa kanila, sila na talaga may-ari. No?
Yep. So,
ngayong bumalik tayo dun sa tamang posisyon na dapat susundin ng batas at sinusuportahan tayo dito ng international community, hindi lang ng US, kundi lahat ng mga ibang miyembro din, biglang ang tindi ng response nila. No? Kasi nga, biglang pumalag tayo pero by the time na pumalag tayo, nakapasok na sila
lapit na nila. Operational na sila.
So lalo silang natitreten, no?
Yeah.
Kunwari, yung nangyayari sa Ayungin Shoal, no? Titingnan mo, BRP Sierra Madre, bulok na barko, immobile, nakatayo lang doon, pero napakalaking attention ang binibigay nila para paalisin tayo doon. Bakit? Kasi it's not because the Sierra Madre can pose any threat to any ship of theirs, no? But it's because BRP Sierra Madre is a symbol. It's a symbol of defiance against China. No? It's a symbol of resistance against Chinese power. And it's directly against the dreams of Xi Jinping.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Kaya napaka-disproportionate ng kanilang response and policy dito sa Sierra Madre.
Yeah.
Parang by hook or by crook, kailangan nila tayong tanggalin dyan. Kahit when you talk about it from a broader practical or strategic perspective, it actually wouldn't matter to them.
Yeah.
Kasi sa dami ng mga puwersa nila dyan. So, it's really about symbols. And the only symbol that you can see there is the fact that as long as the Sierra Madre is there, we are resisting China. Ayaw nila yun.
Do you think they just, blow that story up para lang magkaroon sila kunwari ng reason na we're being hostile against them?
Hindi naman.
Ganun, diba?
Hindi naman sa deliberately they're blowing it up na as a story, but they see kasi na yung continued presence doon, no? Shows na basically is proof that that countries in the region do not have to simply follow China and whatever and give it what it wants.
Yeah.
No? Yun yung pinakaayaw nila na yung Southeast Asia especially ay somehow magkaroon ng collective spine and then
meron naman, di ba?
Sa kanila.
Hong Kong and Taiwan or
hindi, nakita naman natin no? Hong Kong,
wala na.
Talagang they brought the hammer down.
Wala talaga. Yeah.
Taiwan, ang daming girian. And they're also going all out, no? Trying to intimidate Taiwan and even threatening invasion lately. Again, very disproportionate, no? Yung mga responses nila to anything related to Taiwan. So, kasama na tayo doon, no?
So, bullying talaga ang tactic nila.
Bullying talaga. Para yung lahat ng ibang Southeast Asian nations will not even think of resisting.
This will happen to you if you resist. Parang ganun.
And nakita natin, some of them do fall into that.
Yeah.
No? So, I think Malaysia is one of them at this point. No? Yung mga
for a while tayo, di ba? Parang medyo compliant tayo for a while.
Tayo for a while. Tapos ngayon, nakita nga natin, parang yung ginagawa ni Duterte noon, ginagawa ngayon ni Anwar. Yung ang response dun sa isang incident is we will investigate.
We will investigate. We will see.
So, we don't know whether that will last long on Malaysia's
part. Has China have any kind of diplomatic response or any kind of response dun sa SONA ni President Marcos?
Wala naman ako na-monitor na parang unusual kasi ang problema, pare-pareho din sinasabi ng China every time.
Okay.
So parang dekahon na lang. Kaya in a way, hindi mo rin, ang hirap din ma-gauge ngayon kung sincere ba sila? Meron ba talagang change in policy? Or wala. Hindi mo na
kasama siguro sa
napakadekahon
strategy
na lagi
nila
ng mga statement nila.
Yeah.
And anything we do for them is provocative, for them is wrong.
I see.
Wala eh.
So there's no diplomacy na talaga.
There is diplomacy in the sense na nag-uusap pa and at least hindi pa nag-escalate into armed conflict.
Yeah.
No? Pero in terms of positioning, I do not see any sincerity.
Gets. No? So when they say things, that necessarily they put it in action because they're still there. Yeah. Okay. Gets. Yun yung sinasabi kong problema, and I think in passing, when people talk about this issue, parang ang iniisip nila kaagad, hindi natin kaya kasi lugi tayo sa military power sila, where I think that's really super extreme case na to pag talagang ano na to, armed warfare na to and everything.
And it's very shallow. Kung tutusin, it's very shallow kasi kung ang basis mo lamang ay military power, I mean, ilang dekada nang nandyan yung disparity na yan. No? And yet, diba, we're still here.
Yeah.
No? So, meron pa rin parang restraints din. There are parang constraints on China's behavior then. They cannot just invade the Philippines. For example.
So, yun.
It's silly.
Tanggalin. Exactly.
It's silly for these people to say na matakot kayo dahil pwede tayong
sugurin tayo ng mga yan, tapos take over tayo, ganun.
Kasi they don't need to do it. No? All they need is for us to be scared into submission. And the previous government, previous administration was doing precisely that. No? Pero ano nakuha natin? Wala. Lalo lang silang pumasok.
What we have now is that we're showing that we're not scared. And now we're getting, I guess, foreign help from everything na ganyan. Now ngayon, kunwari, let's make it like a very simple case. From now, moving towards reclaiming what is ours, what needs to be done?
Number one, of course, is to continue yung ating modernization and enhancement ng ating maritime forces, both military Navy, and civilian, no, like Coast Guard.
Okay.
Kailangan talaga natin yon dahil masyado siyang napabayaan for many years. No? It's only, tapos ngayon parang
is it really
parang
bad?
Nagka-catch up tayo eh.
Is it bad? Like
it's not malala? It's not as bad as before, at least. No?
Okay.
I mean, kasi there were decades that were lost eh.
Yeah.
No? So ngayon parang we're doing very well in catching up in terms of capabilities and competencies.
Okay.
Like right now, yung part of the Philippine Air Force is now doing air combat exercises. Australia. Earlier this year, we had naval exercises.
So we're training
exercises.
Upgrading knowledge.
And our advantage is that, well, no matter how you look at it, no, kahit na maliit tayo, our armed forces are still the most experienced and most capable among all the armed forces in Southeast Asia.
Oh, really? Okay.
Sa atin lang yung talagang merong combat experience, kung tutuusin.
Gets it.
Partly because of the internal armed struggle, but also partly because we have been participating through exercises with so many other nations. And because of that, in terms of the human resources, I think our armed forces are a cut above the rest. The rest, kumbaga, parang puro ano lang, on paper,
technology,
o kaya
ganun,
technology, or...
So when it comes to experience, veterancy, we have that.
Now, we need to leverage that. And yun nga, ang pang-leverage, ang pwede nating leverage dyan is through the modernization program and the capability building program, bigyan mo ngayon ng adequate assets, no? So that yung manpower can be complemented by
better ships, better boats, better equipment.
Yes, and we are getting them so far, no? So kailangan ma-sustain 'yan.
Yeah.
Pangalawa is dahil nga hindi naman 'yan yung first recourse natin, hindi naman force, we're still under the Constitution, we still regard the use of force as,
last resort,
it's a last resort, only for self-defense. So diplomacy pa rin yung ating primary recourse. Pero yung diplomacy na yon hindi lang on the basis of yung one-to-one bargaining. Hindi ganon. dahil nga we have the international law on our side, we can leverage our diplomacy, we can leverage the support of the international community for our positions, no, vis-a-vis China's excessive claims. No? For as long as China's claims to the West Philippine Sea are illegitimate, for as long as we do not give them up, that will never be securely that will never be secure on the part of China. Okay? And over long period of time, hindi rin pwede yun na forever kang insecure dun sa area. Can you imagine anong klaseng resources ang uubusin mo para lang maging secure ka dyan? Yeah. Pero it's constantly challenged. Yeah. No? So magiging drain din yan sa kanilang resources. And we know they have many other problems that they need to attend to. So kailangang patuloy yun na we never give up our rights. We never, despite all the forces that they deployed and despite all this disinformation that they're
so it's important spreading to them that we give that up to them, diba?
Yes. Yun lang yung magbibigay sila sa kanila ng peace of mind in a way. Pag ginib up niya. And as long as hindi natin siya ginigive up, then they will never have that security. And also, as long as we're able to show na, the more they do not respect us, the more they will not be respected by anyone else. So, yun yung dapat nating parang ipakita sa ating mga moves, no? Overall strategy natin. Kasi again, kailangan niyang mabuhay bilang isang responsableng miyembro ng international community.
Tama.
And for this region, if they really want security and stability, they have to have a safe, secure neighborhood.
Tama.
No? You cannot have a quiet neighborhood. You cannot be secure and safe in your neighborhood if you're bullying everyone else.
Exactly.
Diba?
Lalo na dahil mo inaway Southeast Asia. Di ba?
Practically, lahat inaway nila at some point, somehow. No? Ngayon, merong mga countries within Southeast Asia na tahimik dahil siguro binibigyan niya ng economic support, etc. No? Pero alam niya na the moment na mabawasan yan,
magreklamo na kagad yan.
Magreklamo yan, oo. No?
Kumbaga, them staying there unofficially and illegitimately, they're burning through a lot of resources. And push comes to shove, ma-realize sila, it's not worth holding anymore.
Yes.
Ganun lang yun. So as long as we don't succumb to the pressure, I guess it's Pero right now, while this is all happening, may mga biktima tayo. Like, yun nga, yung mga civilian victims natin, yung mga fishermen, yung pinaka-obvious na victim. What can we do to safeguard them?
Well, sa ngayon, we need to support our fishermen then, no? Na first, yung diplomacy natin has to give them the space to be able to engage in their livelihoods peacefully. Okay? Sa ngayon kasi, ang ginagawa ng China, they're denying them even the right to eke out a livelihood in the sea, no? Which is supposedly open to all. And China is even destroying the very resources upon which they depend, no? Yung mga corals, mga
press
fisheries,
release reason nila? Why are we harassing the Philippine fishermen? Anong sinasabi nila?
Ang sinasabi nila, we are intruding into Chinese territory. Ganun lang.
Okay.
Which nobody will believe, di ba?
Yeah.
Tapos lately, sinasabi pa nila they engage in this propaganda war, program naman or campaign na yung fishermen daw natin may kasalanan nung environmental degradation sa South China Sea. Fishermen daw natin ang umuubos ng mga resources dyan.
Okay.
No? Which again, nobody can really take seriously.
Yeah. Okay? How do you prove that too? Diba? So, they continually will do that. Basically, yung pressure that's being put on for us to give up the islands, I guess, or the territory. How long do you think they can keep this up? Meron ba tayong parang...
Well, syempre, it's hard to tell. From their perspective, they'll keep it up as long as they need to.
It must be really important to them then. Kasi this is burning a lot.
Well, it's important to the PLA. No? But the people, I don't know. Kasi ang hirap din dyan, I mean, China is ruled by an authoritarian regime. It's the CPP that tells them what their opinion is. Diba? Literally. So ang hirap i-gauge. No?
is there like a parang progressive side of China that's against all of this? I'm pretty sure like nung panahon ng Vietnam War ng US, daming galit sa war. Dito,
walang ganun dun eh.
Walang ganun, walang
They just
even
disappear.
in like Beijing or Shanghai, those progressive cities.
No. Anyone who says anything, even the slightest thing against the Communist Party, the PLA, or any of the things they're doing, it could disappear.
So there's no internal pressure.
Yung nangyari kay Jack Ma, who's supposedly the richest of all at that time, no? He said something about Chinese regulations being too tight.
Yeah. Wala.
Biglang nawala. Kala natin natsugi, pero siguro is given a real dressing down, maybe detained. And then quietly.
Mark Zuckerberg ng China, by the way, sa mga tao, di alam.
Then quietly nag-reappear na parang na lang siya, parang teacher or fellow na lang in some institution.
And he's supposed to be like one of the richest people in the world. Yeah.
And then quiet lang. And then I've heard from other people, mga rich Chinese, lesser known than Jack Ma, they just simply disappeared.
Okay. So there's not kasi I was thinking like parang maybe there's a huge internal force that are, siyempre may opposition ng lahat ng gobyerno. It's not very powerful there.
No. Magaling sila doon na to nip things in the bud.
Yeah.
No? Actually, their biggest challenge nga was Hong Kong. And yun, nakita natin how heavy-handed they were with Hong Kong. Diba?
Kahit anong rally ng mga tao and everything. Tear gas, riot shields, everything. What's happened? Talagang pinaluhod nila no? They really imposed themselves there.
Yeah, and that's already Hong Kong, which is already parang self-governing territory halos, no? But binaliwala nila yun.
No, wala.
When they decided to
hindi kayo bansa.
Bring the hammer down.
Parang yun yung sinabi nila, di ba? Hindi kayo bansa, amin kayo eh. Parang ganun yung nangyari doon. They can't be a sovereign state or anything.
Well, they never really... I mean, Hong Kong was already good to China. I mean, they never claimed to be a sovereign state. They only wanted to maintain things the way they were because they worked very well for Hong Kong.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, the systems, the laws, the procedures that they had, no, it was what made Hong Kong become the financial capital of the world halos, no? One of the, or at least one of them, no? And that didn't matter. No?
It's such a, yun yung mga nakakatakot na case study because visually, like on surface level, when you see Hong Kong and you compare it to the Philippines, may isip mo mas formidable dapat ang Hong Kong kaya sa atin. But now, thinking about all of these factors and all of the things that happened and everything, the main question, I think, is may kung may bubuga ba tayo sa China? I think meron. Yes, meron. Huwag kayo mawala ng pag-asa. Hindi siya aabot sa sa gera. You think it would reach there or?
I do not think it will reach there as easily
as
people think. No?
Mangyayari.
No, ang pinaka parang
because there are all, people conspiracy theory and everything, Pogo, and then sabihin nila yung mga Pogo, they're Chinese spies. They're trying to infiltrate us from within West Philippine Sea.
Indeed, they are trying to infiltrate us. I mean, pero it's not for the purpose of invasion. Kasi ang nakita natin parang lumalabas na strategy is to influence and subvert us. No?
I see.
Create such centers of influence within the economic sectors, the political sectors, para maging, kumbaga, at the very least, ma-paralyze tayo.
Yeah.
Kung sakaling magalit ang China and they want us to do something, no? They can essentially influence decision makers within the Philippine government to just give them what they want.
No?
Yun yung nakikita ko. And that's why I said, you don't need to invade the country like that. Anyway, ibibigay naman pala sa'yo ng libre, bakit mo kailangan, no? And we see that, no? I mean, look at say the statements or positions of people who favor China on the West Philippine Sea, on many of these issues, no? They simply want us to give up, Right?
Yeah.
So they use the threat of war and they use China's power to threaten us into submission. So yun yung nakikita kong nangyayari. They'd rather do that because, again, if you give it to them voluntarily, that gives them the sense of security because mahirap mo nang bawiin yun eh.
Oo nga, wala na eh.
Kesa naman so kung kukunin mo and then you have to defend it with forces every day.
Mas mahirap din yun.
Mas mahirap yun. So mas magandang i-give up na lang. So, influence operations is the name of the game talaga ngayon, no? Especially with modern technology, social media, and how ironically the information age has produced the dumbest people we've seen, di ba? It's actually spread ignorance.
Yeah. Diba? What will make them budge? Like, kasi ngayon, we're saying na tipong, okay, nag-uusap sila but they're not really acting on it. They're still bullying our fishermen, bullying our Coast Guard and everything. Si President Marcos made a statement na atin to. But now, realistically, what will make them budge? Like, do we have to pakita natin o meron tayong United Nations forces na nasa coast natin sa anong...
Actually, that is one of the things that will make them budge. Kasi nakita natin nagre-react sila so badly pag meron na namang bansa na kakampi sa atin. They know that their worst nightmare would be to be surrounded by hostile neighbors.
And they're a big land to defend.
Supported by powerful friends. Yun yung ayaw nila. That's why with respect to ASEAN, divide and conquer talaga yung overall policy nila. They give you these platitudes that they're being pro-ASEAN or pro-Southeast Asian or that this is Asia for Asians. Pero in reality, what they set up is Asia for China.
Yes.
And everything goes to China. All the benefits flow to China. Sila mauna lagi. No? Habang tayo, kahit ba, they don't care what happens to us. And
so they're just banking on these other nations na they have history with, by the way, na to just let it happen? Parang ganun. Wag na kayong makigulo, ganung klase.
Ganun. That's exactly what they try to impress upon everyone. Diba in like mga international conferences and dialogues, they keep saying na external forces should not be interfering with the affairs in Southeast Asia. Klaro yung tema na yan eh. Kasi nga, para sa kanila, hindi, kami ang hari dito. Huwag kayong makialam. Tapos, lalo na kung yung mga iba naman tao dito, ibang mga bansa dito, tumatanggap naman nila na kami ang hari, wala kayong karapatan na mag-interfere. That's why galit na galit sila sa Pilipinas. Kasi hindi natin tinikilala yon.
Tama.
And we don't see them as better friends than, say, the US or Europe or any of these other countries. No?
I guess they look down on us and they're appalled by the defiance, I guess.
Yes.
Parang ganun.
No? Definitely they look down on us.
So we're rounding up, and it's a great discussion, by the way. I wish I had like 3 more hours to pick your brain, sir. Pero, siguro, I want to put it into perspective of like ordinary citizens like me, you, wala naman tayo sa Coast Guard, wala tayo dun sa West Philippine Sea. What can we do to support the cause?
Sa akin, of course, we have to support our own interests, our own national interests, which is that the West Philippine Sea and the resources in the West Philippine Sea, international law has already recognized that they should belong to us. No? We participated in a multilateral negotiation to secure those resources for us. No? And this is not only for us, but also to future generations of Filipinos. No? That's number one. Number two, we should always take the position that establishes respect and sovereign equality for the Philippines. No? Hindi tayo dapat tumanggap ng mga ganyang mga proposals or positions na magpapasa ilalim tayo sa China o kaya pagbibigyan na lang natin ng China simply because mas malaki siya, mas malaki siya, mas malakas siya. No, it has to be based on the fact na we are a sovereign nation. We are entitled to have our own, kumbaga, our own share of resources, our own share of this part of the world. No? And that has already been recognized by international law. And yet now China, which also, by the way, participated in the same negotiations, and in 1973 was actually on our side in fighting for that small piece of the world, no? Ngayon biglang bumaligtad. Como lumakas na sila. No? We should not accept that, no? Hindi pwedeng ganun na como mas malakas ka, babaguhin mo na yung agreement. We should stand for that. And we have to remember also, no, the Philippines in a way is unique talaga among Southeast Asians and in the world. Sa Southeast Asia, we are a pure island nation or archipelagic nation. And we stand between China and the rest of Southeast Asia in a way, no? Especially Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, no? Doon sa isang side, yung mga landlocked or mga continental ASEAN countries, iba talaga yung interest nila. May direct land connections sila with China. And because of that, iba yung priorities din nila. Pero tayo, no? We are an archipelagic country. Our country's future lies in the oceans as much as on the land. And we are between all the China and the rest of the Southeast Asians. And because of that, we have unique interests. We cannot, kumbaga, we cannot give this up simply because, you know, we're a smaller nation or what, no? We are still a sovereign nation. We should stand equal, no, to the rest of the nations of the world. We should also demand respect as such. No? And if we need to be closer with other countries aside from China, if we need to be close with Japan or the US or Australia in order to protect our interests, then that's what we need to do. The other thing about us is that we are a global people. Although many people don't see our OFW sector and our parang diaspora as a bad thing. If you think about it, it's also a good thing because global talaga tayo, and we have such a potential.
People eat our food. They listen to our music. They they work with us.
And you see that Filipinos do very well abroad. Kasi nga, yung talents and
values
and opportunities, no, that arise out of mixing. We've always been very cosmopolitan. Even in ancient times, the Philippines was a hot pot, a melting pot of many different cultures.
Culture talaga.
And now we're the ones spreading out. No? We've never really taken advantage of that. No? And that is possible because nga of our position in Southeast Asia.
I mean, Southeast Asia is the first place na talagang kumpara tayo.
And we should protect that. So that's why our future lies in being a member of the international community, and our future, even as a small nation, is dependent on having a system of, you know, international law and an international community that is based on the idea that all nations are equal. We cannot allow the world to slide back to imperial.
Tama. And we should be conscious about our rights as a sovereign people, sovereign land, di ba?
And that's what China wants, to return us to the 19th century where one nation lords over everyone, where one nation's interest is superior to everyone else's. We cannot allow that.
And it's important for people to know this, what our rights are, and we'll together, collectively, we'll put up a stronger front, I think. Thank you so much, Sir Jay. Grabe. Sobrang interesting, and honestly, ako naliwanagan ako. Hindi naman ako mag-enlist sa military or anything. Pero ngayon, kapag nagsuot ako ng gear ko or merchandise ko supporting West Philippine Sea, mas alam ko na yung pinaglalaban ko. Thank you so much. The Medyo Serious Talk Show with Red Ollero is on at every Tuesday at 1 News 9 p.m. At kung wala kang TV tulad ko, just go to YouTube, search The Medyo Serious Talk Show. Napakadali lang, ilang words lang, and then you will see our episodes, including this one when it premieres. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Hopefully, next time magkita tayo.
Madami talaga pwede pag-usapan.
Okay, pag-usapan. Wala. Tsaka wala na yung China sana.